It's time to take a look inside ECSU Mighty Vikings basketball. This is Vikings Coaches Show on WRVS 89.9.
Happy holidays to you, and welcome to the latest edition of Vikings Coaches Show. I'm Clay Mercer, and we're ready to talk Mighty Vikings basketball with ECSU Hall of Famer head coach Shawn Walker. Coach Walker, welcome back to the show.
Always a blessing to be here.
Yeah, man. Now, remember, listeners, as always, you can have your questions answered by Coach Walker. You can send us an email to WRVS-FM@gmail.com. You can also reach us on Twitter at WRVS899. And, Coach, it is the holidays, and the best gift the team could have given us was wins, and that is exactly what they delivered with 3 big CIAA wins at the Vaughn Center. It all started with a 3-point overtime victory against Shawn back on December 13th. The Bears boasted the nation's top scorer in Amir Hinton, but the Vikings were ready, and it seemed like they were up for the challenge. As you just stated, they held Hinton down to about 4 first-half points. He was also in a little bit of foul trouble in the first half, but the defensive game plan seemed to be working at this point. Shawn turned the ball over 10 times in the first half, too. Were you pretty pleased with the defensive effort early on?
I was very happy. I think we gave Shawn 32 points in the first half. They're averaging over 80. Hinton had 4. He's averaging 34. So we were very happy about what we were attempting to do. We not wanted him to isolate, give him easy buckets, and we didn't do that. But we were also concerned after the first half, because we know how explosive they are.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. The Vikings would take an 8-point lead into the second half, which saw Hinton start to assert himself like you expected him to do, scoring. He also found a lot of open players, too, but the Vikings big man, Tajay Byers, would put in work on the block. He scored 14 points in that half. We went 6 for 7 from the free throw line to help the Vikings get the victory. Coach, we talked about the post presence of Byers on previous shows, but he really brings a post presence to this team, and it's a major positive for the Vikings.
Well, his post presence is primarily on the defensive end. He really protects the basket, and when our guards make plays, he dunks the ball around the basket. So when he catches it in the right area, he normally finishes with a dunk. For a big guy, he really shoots free throws extremely well. In that Shaw game, he hit 2 big free throws with 9 seconds on the clock to take us to overtime. So he's been really good, and normally when Tajay's played well, we've played well.
Yeah, he would finish, of course, with 17 points. Sophomore Justin Faison had 24 points in the win. Just 2 days later, the Falcons of St. Augustine's would roll into the Vaughn Center. In the first half, the Vikings would use 3 3-pointers from Faison and good inside play from Byers to hold a 4-point halftime lead. Coach, I recognized something during this game that you said to Justin, and it had to do with shot selection. You said, "Let me get you open, and you focus on knocking down the shots." Good advice for your sophomore guard.
Yeah, Justin has become a great player over the past 4 games. It's amazing how you can lose players. Going into Pembroke, Shaheed Petaway was injured. Zach Hobbs has been injured since early November. Justin has been thrust into a scoring role that he's taken by storm.
He really has.
He really has. And so I want him to just concentrate on playing. Let me call the plays. Just don't take bad shots because we're going to get you the ball.
That's right.
And he's been doing a phenomenal job. He's now probably our primary guy in the opponent's scouting report. And he's done a really good job. He was CIAA Player of the Week last week, and I'm expecting him to continue doing what he's been doing over the last week.
He seems a lot more comfortable in this role, and what has caused it? I mean, I just don't know what flipped the switch for him.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have to look over his shoulder. Our substitution process is pretty limited when you lose Shaheed Petaway and Zach Hobbs. He's going to play. He had a really good game. And I would say probably he's more comfortable because I've probably shown a little bit more confidence in what he can do. Justin's better off at the 2-guard spot than he is at the the point guard spot, which is nothing wrong with that. Right. It's a great thing. And so now he's been freed to just be able to score and be aggressive offensively, opposed to having to think about what other people are doing. Yeah. And so he's really been good. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen second semester with him.
Yeah. ECSU would extend the lead to 7 midway through the second half before St. Augustine started to fight back. 3 from the Falcons, Tyree Gathright, would give them a 1-point lead with about 4 seconds to go. And, Coach, I want you to take us to the sideline right now. There was a timeout called. What was said to the team during this particular timeout?
Well, I was really concerned at halftime about the way this game was going. We couldn't put St. Aug away. We would get 5 or 6 point lead, make a mistake, they'd hit a 3. The second half we made mistakes. They took an 8 point lead, and then we had to fight back and had the lead, made 2 or 3 horrible turnovers in the last minute of the game, and then we're up 2, and then we find ourselves down 1. Coach Johnson calls timeout. We had a play called. He calls timeout. We go back to the floor. I call a timeout, and basically we're going to throw the ball to Justin Faison. We got to figure out how to get it to him and to make a play. And he did. He made a great play, man. We work on 80 layups in 2 minutes and 40 layups in 2 minutes, and really playing at a high pace. 3 dribbles, 4 dribbles, finishing at the basket. He took 4 dribbles and pulled up and made about a 5-footer at the end of the game, and it was a lifesaver for us. So I was really proud of what he was able to do, but I was also proud of our young men. The air didn't come out of our cell, and we were able to understand that 4.8 seconds is still a long time. Big time shot for Faison and gave the Vikings a 1-point win. It looked like it was exactly how you draw it up, Coach. Is that correct? I can't say that. Well, we did make a couple of adjustments. I put Tajay Byers directly under the basket, so you can't leave a man under the basket, and I put a man right in front of the ball, which you can't leave a guy uncovered, which put 2 people around the ball. So put 2 guys at half court and 1 guy in the corner. And, the ball comes into Justin, and he can't really help. He can't trap. And he drove it up the floor and got a good shot. So it was, made me look real good, I guess, right? It looks good when the ball goes in. But, very fortunate to win. And St. Aug's a really good team. Although their record does not display it, they're a really good team, and we were very fortunate to win. Justin would end the game with a game-high 23 points, followed by Byers with 17. Those are, and we've talked about it a little bit here, but those 2 are becoming a nice little 1-2 punch on the offensive end for the Vikings. Seems to be working pretty well. Absolutely. Well, Justin's playing free-spirited. When Tajay scores, 1, he's getting to the free throw line, and 2, he's getting dunks. So his stat lines are normally points because of dunks and right there around the basket, and he couples those with 5 or 6 block shots a night normally, and really a defensive force for us more than anything. And then when Justin's making shots, and John Maynard's had good games, and Shahid's had good games, and when Zach comes back, we're looking forward to being much more explosive. And hopefully we can continue to get ourselves in the right position and take care of the basketball. And obviously rebounding is a problem for us, but we've gotten better. We can be a handful. I mean, I think I said this last time, you got to continue to watch us grow, because we are growing right in front of everybody's eyes. Yeah, that's right. Let's take a quick break, but when we return, we got so much more to talk about. We'll go over Monday's win over Fayetteville State and talk about some award-winning Vikings. You'll know what we're talking about in just a few. Keep listening to Vikings Coaches Show on WRVS 89.9.
Get your tickets now to see the Mighty Vikings in action online at ECSUVikings.com.
WRVS 89.9 takes pride in supporting our community. In 2018, we joined together with local organizations to present coats to children and adults in Elizabeth City during our Coats and Totes Winter Coat Drive. Area barbers brought their clippers to the R.L. Vaughn Center and gave free haircuts to over 160 youth at the annual Back to School Bash and Food Drive.
We do have a lot of community support. We're so thankful.
Yes, 2018 has been a wonderful year in support of our community. And thanks to you, 2019 will be even better. Get ready for annual events such as Border Clash on January 21st and our annual Pledge Drive Success Fest, March 24th through the 29th. Get more in 2019. More news and information, more music, and more community support from your community voice. WRVS 89.9.
Welcome back to Vikings Coaches Show. I'm Clay Mercer with ECSU men's basketball head coach Shawn Walker. And coach, this week, CIAA recognized a few of our Vikings for their accomplishments on the court. Justin Faison received the Player of the Week award, and on the women's side, senior Jalen Brown received Player of the Week honors, and Nataria Luster was the newcomer of the week. Great achievements by our Vikings. Justin Faison really was great last week. I think we talked about it a few minutes ago, but
he's turned into being a candidate for all conference performer, conference kind of performer.
Very much so.
Very, very happy for him and proud of obviously the way he played, but I'm very happy for him. He's a great kid that's working hard and is growing. He's trying his best to learn what it is that I want him to do, and he's trying to do it, and now he's able to play more free-spirited because I think he's almost figured it out. So we're very excited for him and for what he may bring second semester.
Yeah, as you said, watch us grow, and it's fun to just watch it happening right there on the court. This past Monday, speaking of on the court, the Broncos of Fayetteville State came into East City. A tight affair in the first half that will find the Vikings down by 1 at halftime. ECSU struggled from the free throw line early, only going 3 for 9 in the first half. It was a trend that would continue throughout that game, and I'm sure it was really, really frustrating for you to see us miss those easy free throws.
Yeah, we were in a funky rhythm on Saturday against St. Augustine. We were in the same rhythm on Monday. We got up 7 or 8 there early, threw the ball away, couldn't put Fayetteville away early. We were up 7 there with 6 or 7 seconds left to go in the first half, and they hit a 3 at the buzzer to put us up 4. Really concerned there because those are really momentum crackers. And obviously in the second half, it's exactly what happened to us. The game was a back and forth game, and whenever we thought we had a little momentum, we throw the ball away or give them an uncontested layup or something like that would kill our momentum. So we were very, very, very fortunate to be able to pull away a little bit in the last 2 minutes of the game and hold on to a very, very tough, well-coached Fayetteville team.
Yeah, Faison went 4 for 4 from long range to keep the Vikings in the game, and the second half would see ECSU get up to an 8-point lead late. It just seemed like the Vikings could not put this team away. Coach, you had similar thoughts.
I thought we were in a little trouble because what Fayetteville was doing, they were packing in that 3-2 zone, and we had a lot of problems with zone Saturday and Monday. And so, obviously go through the playbook and try to figure out what will work and kind of went away from our traditional zone offense and ran actually man-to-man offense against it and put players in a position to make plays. And I thought we did a great job of it. Defensively was not our best night. We had a difficult time keeping Fayetteville in front of us. Although they shot a low percentage, they went to the foul line quite a bit for unnecessary fouls. So, again, it was a tough game. I said to our players before the game, don't be on Christmas vacation before Christmas vacation starts. Games like Monday are the most difficult games to play because there's no students here on campus right now. The gym's not going to be packed with fans. There's not going to be a band, and we've got to bring our own energy. Fayetteville State can't go home for Christmas until the bus takes them back to Fayetteville, then they can go home. Right. So we were very concerned about the mentality. Everybody was making travel plans and planning to leave right after the game, and so we did show a lot of character and being able to finish another game that was tightly contested and come out on top, which is great.
I noticed that when you brought that up, there's no band, no huge crowd in the Vaughn Center, but I noticed the team on the bench, especially Byers, was kind of trying to keep the morale going. When it was time to play defense, he started a defensive chant. The players had to bring their own energy.
Yeah, we have two guys. Tajay does that, but we have a guy named Broderick Bowman. We call him Bam, and he's notorious for the energy of our team. All right, his nickname Bam is pretty essential, and he has such an important role for our team. He goes out there and plays the 4. He's shorter than I am. He's about 5'9". He goes out there and plays the 4. He went out there the other day and hit a jump shot early in the game. He'll go out and rebound. He's just a tough kid, but he's so positive, and he's a challenger. Right? He's kind of the uncle to this group. He doesn't have any problems telling guys what he feels, and does it in a very constructive manner. Yeah. And so, when our bench is lively and we're in tune to the game on the sideline, normally it's between Tajay and Broderick are really holding the torch for that environment.
I like Broderick because when I'm over there and I'm doing what I do, he'll come and ask me, say, what songs you got for us? And I think it gets him hyped up. So it's good to hear this about him, that he helps to keep him alive.
He comes to practice every day. Yeah. And if you didn't know any better, you think he was playing 35 or 40 minutes.
Wow.
There's a lot of times where I'm looking around at guys saying, why are you not on the floor? And he goes from playing the post to playing the guard to playing the point guard. He wants every rep. And so we're really comfortable putting him in the game, even though he's undersized and he may not be a post. We put him in there because we can trust him. And you need guys like that if you're going to be a championship caliber ball club.
I agree. And back to the game, a few timely Bronco turnovers and a few missed shots would allow ECSU to hold on and win 62-57. Coach, much work to do, and of course the team always wants to get better, but as you stated before, 3 straight games, CIAA conference games in the Vaughn Center, a good start to the conference season.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always good to win, period. Winning at home is a bonus, and you need to hold serve when you're at home. So we'll be on the road the entire month of January until January 26th, and I'm looking forward to seeing the makeup of our team as we're not at home. We've got to figure out how to win. We have not won a road game, a true road game. We won a neutral game, and we're going to go and play three more tough conference opponents in Winston-Salem and Livingstone and Johnson C. Smith. So we'll be able to see what we're made of and see if we can sustain this positive beginning of the season before we go into Northern Division play.
It's the holiday season, and I'm going to call this a long layoff, but the team is back here on the court next week, back in practice. Do you worry about the team when they go home, what they can eat, what they can do? They might get a little lazy and lounge around a little too much, or is it good for them to get a break in?
Well, it's good for them to get a break. It's good for all of us to have a break. Sometimes it's good just to be away from each other. But I'm extremely concerned athletically about having 9 days off. Coming back with 2 days of practice and having to travel to West Virginia, a long trip, and play a game. I'm extremely concerned about that. You've been an athlete. If you take 2 days off and you do nothing, that third day when you try to get your routine back, it's just tough. So think about 9 days. And some of these guys need to heal. Some of these guys just need a couple of days off. And most of them will take 9 days off, to be honest with you. So when they get back, Coach Mackey used to say we need to get the butter from the duck, and that's what we'll try to do. We'll take the first practice or so and see can we open up their lungs a little bit and get back in shape, and hopefully they haven't forgotten everything that we've done first semester and try to get back in the game mode going into February. You
talked about 9 days off, and of course we do have some players who are a little banged up, and we're hoping to get some of them back. Let's do a little injury report. Tell us a little bit about the players' progress, and when can we see some of them back on the court?
Well, Zach Hobbs is the only guy who has really been hurt, injured. So we'll see what happens. He texted me yesterday and told me that he was going to be going to the doctor and hopefully getting the cortisone shot so that he can heal. I think he's got a bone spur. He's been identified in deep down in his knee. So outside of him, I expect everybody to be healthy upon arrival. I'm back to campus, and hopefully we can stay that way, and hopefully we can get Zach back and see can we make a push.
Yeah, good start to the conference season for the Mighty Vikings. Their next game is coming up on December 30th at Bluefield State College. Game time set for 5 p.m. You can get tickets and more information online at ECSUVikings.com. That's the head coach of the Mighty Vikings, Coach Shawn Walker. Coach, again, thank you so much for making this show happen. Happy holidays to you and the family, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
B-ball fans, make sure you stay with us. We'll talk with Lady Vikings head coach Antonio Davis. That's coming up next on Vikings Coaches Show.
Get your tickets now to see the Mighty Vikings in action online at ECSUVikings.com.
WRVS-FM 89.9, your community voice, would like to thank you for making the Coats in Totes Winter Coat Drive a success. Thanks to your donations of coats, hats, and gloves, we were able to help keep many kids and adults in Elizabeth City warm through the winter months. WRVS 89.9 would like to thank our partners for their support: Elizabeth City State University, College of the Albemarle, Elizabeth City Police Department, and Rochelle Cleaners in Elizabeth City. Coating our community with kindness. We're WRVS 89.9.
Welcome back to Viking Coaches Show. I'm Clay Mercer, and I now have the pleasure of talking with ECSU Lady Vikings head basketball coach Antonio Davis. Coach Davis, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Clay. Clay. I certainly appreciate being here again with the listeners.
Now, listeners, again, don't forget you can get your questions answered by Coach Davis just by sending us an email to WRVS-FM@gmail.com. You can also reach us on Twitter at WRVS899. Now, of course, you can hear the coach is calling us over the phone right now. So, Coach, you're out there on the road. How's everything going for you?
It's going well, man. We just finished up a 3-game home conference stand and, out on the road doing a little recruiting and getting ready to come back after Christmas break and get at it again.
Sounds good, Coach. And we're going to get into the game against Fayetteville State in just a few moments. But as you stated before, it's been a great start to the CIAA conference season for the Lady Vikings. And just going back to last Thursday, the Lady Vikings got a win over Shaw, 86-58 in the Vaughn Center. A good crowd on hand to see the Lady Vikings pick up that victory. We won't spend too much on this game because we have a couple to get to, but many were surprised by the wide margin of victory. But there were many positives from that game, including the resurgence of CIAA preseason all-conference player Jalen Brown. 30 points, 8 of 11 from long range. That's a big-time game for her.
Certainly. We were looking forward to Jalen getting back in the flow, and she certainly did against Shaw University, as you stated. So when she shoots the ball that well, we're pretty tough to beat.
Junior forward Natalia Luster continued her strong play with 21 points and 9 boards in that game. Asia Deal, your freshman player, chipped in 16. Coach Luster and junior forward Devon Estelle combined for 19 boards in that game. And when they rebound strong, it really takes this team to another level.
Absolutely. One of the things we're looking for from Devo, as we call her affectionately, is to clean up the board. She's capable of being a dominant rebounder. So actually, that's her number one assignment. We'd like her to get on the glass.
The good times will continue as ECSU would defeat St. Augustine 68-48 just a couple days later. Not a lot of time to prepare coming off of the Shaw game. Were there any worries from you and the coaching staff that the team would relish in the victory a little too long?
Well, we talked to them about not doing that. One of the things we focus on throughout the year is trying to remain at an even keel. Mm-hmm. Even when we win ball games, we try not to get too high. And when we don't win, we try not to get too low. It's a long season. We learn from each victory. We learn from each loss, and we try to move on.
In that game with St. Augustine's, Teasy Luster would get her 5th double-double of the season with 17 points and 10 boards. Her presence on the floor, scoring, rebounding, passing the ball, it's a major cog to the wheel, so to speak, of the Lady Vikings.
Sure. We feel that she's one of the better players in our conference. Certainly a newcomer, but she's the key because she gives us a lot of energy, and, she's a double-double machine. So she's actually averaging a double-double right now. So we're looking for her to continue that, and as she gets more comfortable with the knee coming off an injury, she seems to be getting in the flow again. We're looking for big things from her.
The Lady Vikings held St. Augustine's to 7 total points in the first and third quarters, and that's really big. Coach, were you pleased with the team's effort on the defensive side during that game?
Sure. That's something we've been working on diligently, trying to improve our defensive effort. And we had a good game plan against them, and it, came out pretty well. But I was very excited about that. Wasn't too happy about that second quarter. They had too many points. But with coaches, we're always stressing and trying to get more out of the group.
The Lady Vikings would hold a winning streak heading into this past Monday's game against the Broncos of Fayetteville State. The Lady Broncos defeated ECSU 69-59. Coach Devo notched the double-double in that game, 16 points, 15 boards, but it wasn't enough to knock off the Broncos. Just give me your initial thoughts right now that you've had a little bit of time to think about it, of that game overall.
Sure. It was a very important game for us going into that contest because Fayetteville State is one of the better teams in our league. So it gave us an opportunity to see where we were. The young ladies had an opportunity to see what high-level, intense CIAA championship-level basketball looks like. Mm-hmm. Fayetteville State was the defending Southern Division champions last year with a 10-0 record, undefeated on that side. So they're a very good ball club, well-coached. And it gave us opportunity. So even though we didn't win the game, we were right there in the fourth quarter. However, it gave us an opportunity. We've been talking to the young ladies about the value of detail and doing things at a high level. Mm-hmm. And it gave them an opportunity to actually feel what it looked like against one of the top teams in the league. So coming off of that loss, it was a good learning experience, and I think we can move forward and get better from it.
And you know what, Coach? We talked about this earlier, too, but to start off the conference 2-1 in the Vaughn Center with 3 games straight, that's really a great start for this Lady Vikings team.
Not bad. Certainly, it's coming off, my first year here last year and playing, the schedule that we did, and only winning a couple conference games to, already match that already. It's certainly a bonus, and we're getting better, and it's certainly we're getting the program in the right direction. So we're looking to certainly improve upon that. Getting 7 victories before the break and 2 conference wins. It's a good improvement from last year. So we're happy about that.
With the players on the holiday break now, they won't be back for about a week. What is the workout plan for them when they return? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of running just to get them back in shape and to get them ready for more CIAA conference play.
Absolutely. We'll be back on the 26th, so they have about a week off. And it's actually mandated by the NCAA. All schools have to be out until the 26th. It's actually from the 19th through the 26th. Because we finished and had those 3 games almost back-to-back, we decided to go ahead and give them off a couple extra days. Been a long semester. And then we'll come back and, they got to do some shooting and some running and things while they're home. We'll certainly be able to tell who did when they get back. But we'll be back on the 26th, and we'll pull the trash cans out and see who's been running.
Well, Coach, this will be our final show before the Christmas holiday, so I want to go ahead and say happy holidays to you and your family, and I hope you enjoy yourself, and thank you so much for talking Lady Vikings basketball with us. We'll catch you for the next one.
Certainly. Happy holidays to you and yours and all our listeners.
Now, remember, you can get tickets and more information about ECSU athletics online at ECSUVikings.com, and make sure you subscribe to the WRVS 89.9 YouTube channel to hear more from today's show. For Coach Davis and Coach Walker, I'm Clay Mercer. Happy holidays to you, and thank you for listening to